Hi everybody, my name is Deb Chassé and I'm the Executive Director at House of Hope, a family shelter here in Lowell. I've been here for over 20 years and I've had the privilege of leading an incredible team of staff and board members and community supporters and friends as we have grown this organization beyond what anybody would have imagined. So today we provide emergency shelter for 58 families and permanent housing that we own and manage for 39 families. This has been such a labor of love, and I am so deeply appreciative for the incredible amount of community support that we have received. So I want you to meet some of our team, our staff who have made this happen, our board of directors who with courage and conviction have supported this growth, and most importantly, some of the residents who have benefited from the services that we have provided over many, many years. So welcome to these videos. I hope that you will leave watching these videos with the experience of the hope and the love and the mission and the ministry that has made House of Hope great. And I hope that you will continue to support our efforts because we have a lot more to do in order to solve homelessness for families in our community. Thank you for being here.
My name is Paul Dubuque. I am the kitchen manager and intern trainer at the House of Hope. So as well as the internship, we also produce food for the 3 different houses, about 50 families, and we produce 3 meals a day, 7 days a week, so breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So it goes up to about 200 meals per day per shift. So we produce a lot of food for a lot of people. We have interns that are actually residents that apply for the position. I interview the residents to see what their goals are and where they want to be in life and how they're going to get something out of this program. And we bring them in. We teach them soft skills. We teach them culinary skills. We teach them some life skills, things they can take with them when they leave here. So anything that's going to help them move along in life and progress. So.
I like serving people. I took culinary in high school. We kind of did something similar. We had a rotary every week where we served the teachers and staff, and kind of reminded me of that because I've always thought about doing something like that with my life, but I never really had a chance to. So coming here and interning and getting a certificate meant a lot to me. I took a lot of what I learned here home with me. I still cook at home. So I learned new things here that I never used before that I definitely do now.
Pizza?
I've always done pizza.
Lisa's Pizza. She made the best pizzas.
So currently I'm the Director of Operations and I oversee all the shelter properties. I also am in charge of House Management Department, Residential Support Staff, Community Services Program, and the kitchen.
I am the Director of Case Management. I oversee the case managers and all of the housing for the shelter. So everybody's start in the shelter and then as they exit shelter and then into housing.
So the House Management Department, they put all the beauty into all the shelters. They keep them up, they keep them looking great. When a new family's coming, they get the bedroom ready. They do a welcome basket for them, which has everything you need when you're entering a new place just to feel at home, because it's really scary for a lot of them. The residential support staff is like the first face that they see when they walk in the door. So they'll introduce them, they'll give them a tour, they'll show them to where their room is, and they'll really make them feel at home, offer them something to eat. They're just like that first face to feeling okay when you come here.
Our families are families that are behind on their rent, have lost their jobs. The families that are here have no one. They don't have anybody to take their kids if they're sick. They don't have any place to sleep because there's just nobody left for them to be with.
We struggle just when someone's going to go have a baby to get someone to
watch
their other child because they have nobody to ask.
I oversee the facilities. We have 58 total shelter rooms, so 58 families, and then I also oversee 39 of our housing units. We pretty much do everything in-house. We have a crew of 3 guys one supervisor and 2 maintenance techs, and we take care of everything from the plowing to electrical, plumbing, drywall repair, pretty much a lot of aspects of general maintenance. So we're caring for 58 total shelter rooms spread across 3 buildings. We have 520 Fletcher Street, 812 Merrimack, and 35 Varnum Ave. There was a point in my life where I was working so much and I was trying to get that balance, and I started off here as just a maintenance supervisor, and then what kept me here is just the people and the family, and there's a lot of ways that just keep me going through the difficult circumstances that we see. So it's perspective in life, you know, and there's a lot of perspective here and understanding the differences, and a lot of growing moments, you know. It's been a journey.
It's an honor to serve on the board. I wanted to be on this board for years and years, and so when Deb asked me, I don't even know how long ago, I jumped at the opportunity. My career path and my passion has been between education and nonprofits and social issues, and being on this board has allowed me to keep my finger on the pulse of all those things. Homelessness impacts so many people, not just individuals, but families and communities, and it doesn't fix itself, you know. And so House of Hope has a way of looking at the root causes and looking at those in addition to the boots on the ground, providing stable, secure housing. Whether you're talking about the staff or the residents and the clients and the families, respect and dignity are always on the forefront. I'm impressed by that, and it's not just something that's written in the Human Resource Manual, it's something that is lived every day.
And it's been my pleasure to be the treasurer and on this board for over 15 years. An incredible experience, very terrific staff, well-trained, responsive. I've been an auditor for many nonprofit organizations in the area, and I'm pleased when I hand our books over to our auditors, as it is a good experience for them, and we've never had any issues with opinions or any management comments. The board membership is amazing. You can't go down our board without seeing past and present members that are leaders in the community, that will continue to be involved years after they've retired, just all around, just outstanding people. And I think it shows the confidence in the leadership and the responsiveness that our staff and leadership has shown.
To me, one of the most important parts of being a board member for this organization is just knowing the work that we do and the impact that the work has on people's lives day to day. You know, housing and having housing and shelter is a right that people deserve. We think about people holistically in this organization too. I think that that's another piece of it. You know, it's not just a roof over the head. It's trying to think about how can we help people get to a place where they have stabilized themselves and can get into long-term sustainable housing. And we are moving towards a direction of also including affordable housing, permanent housing for people. And I think that as we've expanded our portfolio, we've always thought about how that works with the community. All of the projects we've done have significantly improved the neighborhoods that they're in. House of Hope has proven time and time again over the many years that this organization has been in existence that, you know, we are committed to this community, that we are a significant part of this community, and that we care a lot about what we're doing and who we're working with. And I think that it's obviously great for me as a board member to be a part of this organization, but I also think that having House of Hope in Lowell makes Lowell a lucky place.
had several roles at House of Hope in my 16 years, but I am the shelter coordinator, and I also work closely with the support staff. Each new family that comes into the shelter, I meet with them, and it kind of is a way to really make them feel at home a little bit. I can sit down at the breakfast table as they're trying to feed their baby or calm down their baby and say, good morning, what are you doing today? How is it going? And they start opening up. And it's a privilege, really. I get to know some of these parents more than my own family in some ways. And their life is an open book at times, being here in a public place and parenting in public in a way. So I feel any interaction that they can have during the day with the staff, that we can kind of give some positive feedback or direction or explanation is a job that's important. So.
A lot of the residents with mental health issues, it's the way you approach them. In this field, you can't judge and you can't just assume. You just gotta be there with an open heart and listen. A lot of the issues, residents come, they're single moms. It's hard for them. They're trying to work. They're trying to find childcare. Sometimes we're getting residents and they're coming to us and they don't have family. They don't have support.
Oversee the house management staff to ensure they completed daily tasks. I also give a support to residential support staff. I like to welcome them, because I like to be able that when they come in the shelter, they see me. I would like that all the time to see me, so I can welcome them to ensure that this is a very safety place. Anything they need, we are there for them. I love this place. I love it. I never did this kind of job before, but I enjoy to come every day to work.
As a residential support staff, you wear many different hats. You're basically the support between the residents and the administration. We're the worker bees of the House of Hope. We support in any way that we can, because it's a difficult transition from being homeless to coming into a stable surrounding. And it's new and they don't know anyone. So we help the transition a little smoother. As soon as they come in, they are giving a welcome basket, and they're giving rules. They sat down and they talked with one of our co-workers, which is Mary Ann. She sits down and explains the rules, and then that's when we show them around their room. I love helping, just to see that one person make it, gives me hope.
So my role as a case manager is I help residents kind of become self-sufficient and independent. So what we do is we typically would meet weekly, talk about their goals, talk about the struggles that they had that week, see how they can overcome them and how they can work on it. And then once a month we're doing rehousing plans, which is kind of like goals to get rehoused. So that's what we're working on, getting all the documents they need, making sure they're meeting with their housing advocate, and making sure that they're meeting all their appointments for themselves and for their kids. I chose to work at House of Hope because I wanted to focus on helping families. I really like working with families. I love working with the kids as well. And I'm just here to make sure that their life gets easier and make sure that while they're at House of Hope that they realize that they have the support that they need.
So I was pregnant with my first son, Jaden. We were living in New Hampshire, and I was living with my mom. She was renting a place out there, and the landlord took the money and flew to Florida. So that's how we became homeless as a family. I stayed in a car in front of the school where my son used to go to, and that's where the teacher was there and said, we have to tell someone that you are homeless, and that's how I ended up in the shelter in Framingham.
I'm Chad Foley. I'm the housing program manager. So I coordinate the housing department here at House of Hope. That consists of working with the families to get them housed in shelter, as well as the families who move out of shelter. We stabilize them for 1 year, and our families that go into permanent supportive housing, We work with them until they move out of our supportive housing, basically offering case management services. So I oversee the whole housing team, which consists of me, 2 housing advocates, and a senior housing advocate.
My name is Natasha Rivera. I am a housing advocate. I've been working here in this position for almost 3 years. When they come to the shelter, they just come and they are not feeling familiar with us, but once they start the process with us and they're being in the shelter, we help them from finding affordable housing, to finding a job, to get them where they want to be or they need to be in order to move forward. Once they move them, they are so happy.
Walked in here and I saw the apartment. I was in shock. I started crying because it was like, oh my goodness, I'm actually able to move somewhere that I can call my own. So that was nice.
I honestly feel like anyone who's in our shelter, it could be any one of us. People fall on hard times and it happens, and I think to give those families a new start and to not give up on them when they're at their lowest, to me that means a lot. We're working hard to try and get them new housing so that they can kind of get on their feet and really succeed in the world.
Home, you have your own key into your own little palace. That loving feeling when you come in, you just know it's your spot. It's where you can get away from the world. And that's how I think about home.
Even though that we work for them for a year and we finish our stabilization services, our relationship doesn't end.
I'm so happy. I go to school now too, which is amazing. Trying to get my bachelor's degree for my kids, so in the future we can come back here and say, yeah, we started here. I love it here. This is my home.
In like 2010, I became homeless. I had other children with me. I had a problem, alcohol problem, so I had to give my children out.
I had a lot of complications throughout my life, and I ended up being placed in a shelter home, which I'm very grateful for. I was scared. I thought of it wasn't going to maybe be clean. There was going to probably be a bunch of bad people, but my expectations ended up being wrong. It's a great place. The staff is wonderful. They're very helpful.
When we got to the House of Hope, the first thing I saw was a playground and kids running around my kids' age, and I saw people like smiling and stuff like that. So right as soon as I pulled in, I had a sense of relief that for then it's gonna be okay.
I ended up getting clean, then I had another child. I ended up keeping my child. I ended up getting placed into a shelter, and that's how I became here. I mean, when I first came to the shelter, they had asked me about the program they had, but I was kind of confused, like, no, I don't know nothing about Lowell, I can't stay here. But then I started, knowing things about the community, and House of Hope was helping me. My life had turned around, so I'm like, okay, yeah, I think I should stay out here.
Being at the House of Hope gave me the advantage to get myself together. I was able to get my permit, which is a step. So it's kind of just baby steps from here on out, and it's looking really good on my end.
Like, my life really did a whole change. I went from running the streets to being an alcoholic to be stable with my children, with a job, they're in school, and doing everything the right way.
So the Hope Chest is a children's consignment store. We sell very affordable children's clothing from ages newborn and preemie right up to sizes 16. And we're based on Market Street in Lowell. We also employ interns who are experiencing homelessness or previously experiencing homelessness in a 3-month internship, and they get the opportunity to engage in meaningful work. A dress is $2. A winter little snowsuit thing is $3, winter coat $5, so people can really afford to make sure that their kids have weather appropriate clothing for very, very low cost. And everything is half price for our residents as well who are living at House of Hope. So here we are in the Hope Chest part of the attic at the Fletcher Street location. This is where all our children's clothing donations come into. We're really, really lucky. We get so much community support that we get over $12,000 worth of gently used kids' clothing donations a year. And we're able to sell those in the Hope Chest. Some of the things we do give to residents who are in shelter, some things go to the Hope Chest and some things we recycle.
I actually found out through my caseworker, Lauren. She told me about the internship and how we could make money while living in the shelter, just to help us move further in life while being in the shelter.
So if you were an intern, you'd be working 20 hours a week for a 3-month period with us, and we'd start you off showing you how to serve customers, working through customer service, working through how to merchandise the different items that we sell, and then move on to opening up the store, closing the store, and just adding and adding responsibility.
It was just easy for us. It was easy for me. I loved it. It felt like home. I would definitely do it again if I had the chance.
For our interns who've never worked before or haven't had positive work experiences in the past, we're really teaching people how to work, how to turn up on time, how to schedule your time and allow for those little things that might happen, if your daycare cancels that day. Do you have that backup plan? During the internship, what we're helping our interns to do as well is take that next step into full-time employment or part-time employment that's going to be a sustainable fit for them. So we're helping the interns to search for jobs, we're helping the interns come up with fantastic resumes, our volunteers help with that as well, writing cover letters, interview skills.
It actually helped me save. Before I started working here at the internship, I didn't know how to save, and that's a part of being in a shelter. You have to save. So they did. Every check that I got from here was put away. So I would tell him before I put him on the bus every morning, I'll be at work. But sometimes I would, get him something from here to show him like, oh, my store has this or my job has this, and he really liked it. He would ask, oh, Mommy, do you have to work today? I'm trying to work on getting my own food truck. So right now I am selling plates from my home or like from my grandmother's home just to earn money to buy a food truck and hopefully go from there.
You don't need to have worked before, you can be just learning English, you don't need to have graduated high school. We'll really work with anyone and we'll really meet them where they're at and help them move forward.
So that's it. You've seen a day in the life of House of Hope. I really want to thank you for taking the time and the effort to get to know us better. And I really want to ask that you continue to support our efforts as we continue to provide emergency services, housing, and shelter for homeless families for many more years to come. Thank you.